All right. Monday, fun day. Not. Man, what a rough go at it today. You just keep throwing these long days at me. For some reason, I just keep coming in here to deal with it. I guess it'd be easier to do what a lot of people are doing these days. Sitting home playing video games, collecting a big fat check, but I got a little bit more ambition in life to do some stupid shit like that. Like a lot of these basement dwellers out there. They know who they are. I don't need to explain it. Anyway, how's it going, y'all? Hello, viewer. Hey, Ashley, how you doing? Another day of work, kiddo. It's going fairly decent today, I guess. I've had a lot to deal with today. I had to get on the phone with the insurance company about one of the cars from the hail damage. They totaled it out because the hail damage was so bad that it was more than the allotted value, wholesale or whatever of the car, so they went ahead and totaled it out on their end. But I had to get a hold of the people at the total loss department today and talk to them about options. So I'm not going to say who the company is or anything like that, but they told me that if I did a total loss on the car, that it would be like $10,400 or $100 or something. And then if they do what they call a retained settlement, which means I retain the car, keep making payments on it, and then they pay the bank or whoever, that they would give them $6,440, and then I have the third option of keeping the car, canceling the claim, and not doing anything at all. Now, I don't know how many of you have ever been in this position. I still owe $21,000 in that freaking car. The problem with taking a full settlement on it is because if I did the full settlement, I would end up still owing $11,000 and paying on a car that I no longer own or don't have. I don't want to go that route for sure. If I do the other one, after a little investigation and calling the company that I'm buying the car from, because they have their own finance company, of course, it would be $6,442 and some change. I'm not exactly sure what the change is, but they said that we could do that and go ahead and continue to pay for the car. But the problem is that they're not going to apply that settlement money from the insurance company until the car's paid off or towards the end of the loan. So I don't know if that's a plus or not. And then, of course, if I cancel the claim altogether, it'll be like nothing ever happened. But the insurance company will put in my insurance file that there was a total loss as far as hail damage goes. But from what I understand and what I've been told by the insurance company is that, or the claims department or whatever, is that the state of Missouri, because it's not an accident, it was an act of God, that it doesn't change the title. Because usually, like, if you get a car that's totaled, they'll put like salvage title or something like that, and then if you go to resell the car to anybody, it doesn't matter who, if you go to resell the car, now you're stuck with a car that you don't have a clear, well, it's a clear title, but it's going to have a junk loan on it, or a junk status, or salvage status, and people aren't going to want to buy a car with a salvage title. So, but like I said, even though, you know, the car was totaled, it was an act of God, so it doesn't change the status of the title or something like that. Anyway, so it looks like I don't know, I gotta go home and talk to my other half about it, but we may end up just canceling the claim, because that seems to be the better thing to do at this point. Anyway, it's been worrisome all weekend. This happened Saturday, is when the insurance adjuster came out to my house to look at my stuff, cars. Unfortunate enough for me, my brand new car, suffered about $4,800 worth of damage with the hail. So I'm not too happy about that. Now I'm kind of to the point to where I got to decide if I want to replace the hood and have it painted the same color, depending on what a hood costs. I don't know what a hood costs for a 25, because I've never had to buy parts for a 25 car before, because we're new into the year, of course. So I got to figure out whether it'd be cheaper just to buy the hood and then have them fix the little dings all over the rest of the car, or just let them fix the hood and the little dings all over the car, whichever is going to be cheaper. I really don't want to have to spend any money out of pocket, since the insurance company, you know, when they do these claims and they cut you a check, they take your deductible off of the top. So it was like $4,600 or something like that. So they took $700 off of that. So I got a check for $6,900 and some change to fix my car. I'm sorry, no, that's not right. That was the other car. $3,900 is some change. Yes, that's correct. Sorry, y'all, my math's not mething today. I know that sounds terrible, but you know, it's my show. What do you do, right? So anyway, so I got to take that $3,900, and I've got to take it somewhere and see if I can get it fixed for that. Like my shirt, huh? Hey Kyle, what's happening? Good to see you in there today. So I got to figure out what I'm gonna do. I don't know. I mean, if I got a hood, I think it would probably be cheaper just to replace the hood instead of trying to chase all the dents out. It's not really that the dents are bad. There's just so many of them. You know, the hail was only well, the first hailstorm we got, the hail was like, I don't know, pea to grape size, which isn't real bad. But then the second hailstorm we had just a few days later, the hail was golf ball size. So if you can imagine, when you look at my automobile, what it looks like. Now it hailed for about 10 minutes the first day, which was Friday. And I didn't really see any significant damage to speak of. However, it hailed less time with bigger hail the second one, which was on that following Monday, and I don't know, it wouldn't have gotten so bad, I don't think, if we hadn't hit some of the body lines. Like, you know, I could probably chase a lot of this stuff out myself. Oh, Kyle, you don't want to know how I'm doing today. I'm sorry. You'll have to go back and view the first part. I've been talking about my car, dealing with the insurance company, and then dealing with the place that I bought my car from, because they do their own financing. It's not my new car. I've got a 2015 Chevy Traverse, 2015 Chevy Traverse as well. I don't drive it. That belongs to my significant other. But I got the loan in my name, but she's paying for it. It was just something her and I worked out together. Anyway, I've been chasing my tail all day with these phone calls and things like that, trying to figure out, money disbursement and settlements, and talking to insurance people, and total loss claims, and talking to the dealership people, the financing or whatever, wherever I bought my car. You never want to have a car that is damaged by hail, or you don't want a car that's damaged, period, but especially with the hail, because it's like, who's to say I don't get my car fixed, and then we get another hailstorm in 3 or 4 weeks and beats my car up again, or it lasts a year and then my car gets beat up again. Now see, the last time this happened was back in, and Ashley can tell you about it too. Ashley's my daughter. She's the moderator. See her name in blue there? So back in 2012, we had a hailstorm. I guess it was right around Easter time. And I had a 2003 Chevy Cavalier that I had just had a custom paint job done on it a couple of months before. It was Hugger orange with white racing stripes. And at that time, I also had a minivan. And it started, and I had a Cobalt, a blue Chevy Cobalt, 2009 Chevy Cobalt. And we had a hailstorm, and it was golf ball size hail. It was maybe a little bit bigger than a golf ball. Not quite as big as, say, a mango or something like that. A little bit smaller. Not quite baseball size either. But anyway, it just beat my Cavalier to death right after I'd spent $7,000 on this paint job. Well, the problem is that car was a 2003, and the insurance companies at that time wouldn't insure it for collision or comprehensive or damage past an accident. With all the full coverage on it, they wouldn't do that because of the age of the car. Now, fortunate enough for me, I did get gap insurance on the Cobalt through. I bought that car from Enterprise Rent-A-Cars. And I know that sounds funny, but it was a really nice car. And anyway, so then my Cobalt got beat to death, and then the van wasn't as bad because, it was an older one. It was like a 99 or 2000 or something like that. And it seems like every year on these cars, especially the newer ones, the metal gets thinner and thinner on them. Because that van took a beating, a bad beating by the hail back then in 2012. And it really didn't reflect, you couldn't really see it, of course, down the red. And red, I guess, just doesn't show that kind of thing, tremendously. But you guys might lose me for a minute. I'm going up and down some hills and stuff, so I don't know if how my signal is today. Valleys and hills and shit like that, But anyway, so it's been 13 years since I've had to worry about hail. And it's been so long, to be honest with you, I know that I just let the Cavalier go. I did keep the car, but I did drive it had bad hail damage for quite a while before I sold it to my useless brother. And I'll get into that another time. I'll just put it this way. One of my brothers, the one right under me, is fucking useless. The guy is fucking just, I don't even want to talk about it. It pisses me off. Anyway, I sold him the car after probably 6 or 7 years of driving it with the hail damage. And it actually didn't look too bad. It kind of gave it a little character or whatever too. But the signal's good. Okay, thanks, Kyle. I appreciate it. I know that in this area, I do lose signal a couple of times. So if I do, just bear with me. I'm guessing it'll come back. Anyway, so I've been dealing with, finance companies and insurance companies and shit all day. It's just been a total fucking nightmare. And stuff like that. So anyway, had a pretty good time this weekend watching football. My St. Louis Battlehawks won again. They played in the rain in DC. That was pretty cool. They had a rain delay because there was weather in the area. It was lightning, and it's an outside stadium, so they took about a 45-minute break. But it was a good game. So it was the DC Defenders, and they'll be playing DC Defenders again next week at home for the XFL Championship. So the Battlehawks are 8-2, and the Defenders are 7-3 or 7-4. I don't remember which. I don't really pay too much attention to the other teams because they don't really matter to me. But anyway, so that was a good game. And then there was a couple other games on that I kind of half-heartedly watched. I did go on Meta Horizon Worlds for the first time in a while over the weekend with my VR. That was pretty cool. There's some stuff that they changed, some of the worlds they changed. But I like the VR chat. VR chat's just a lot better to me. You're a big fan. Yeah, I'm a big fan. Actually, I love the Battlehawks. I bought season tickets the first year, the second year, and the third year. Now in 2020 is when the XFL came to town, to St. Louis. And the first year, the league, I don't know if you may not be old enough to remember, Kyle, but back in 2001, they had the XFL, which was owned and operated by Vince McMahon, the WWE wrestling. Well, at that time it was WWF, but then they had to change because of some fucking copyright infringement on the WWF, because the World Wrestling Federation and the World Wildlife Federation both use the same tag. So the WWF turned into the WWE, which is World Wrestling Entertainment. So that's something that's happened in the last, 15, 20 years. Well, it's been 25 years because the original league was in 2001. But anyway, so the XFL was a one and done deal. One season, they were done, and it didn't come back till many years later, 2020. So 2020 rolls around, and we get a new team in St. Louis called the Battlehawks, and there's 8 teams. At that time, they were all XFL teams. But we watched, I saw two home games, maybe 3. Yeah, 3 home games. No, 2 home games and then 3 away games. They managed to get 5 games out of the season anyway, before the big bad virus came along. And they were in negotiations and stuff, and then the XFL came back as the XFL. As the XFL, and they played another season in 2023. I want to say, 23, and 24, and then in the 25 season. So I've been a season ticket holder since the first game, and you don't watch a lot of sports. Kyle, do me a favor, Kyle. Remind me of where you're from. I don't remember. I see a lot of people on here, and it's hard for me to keep all that in my noodle up here. But anyway, so what they did is we also had the league. They were both spring league football, which they took place in the spring season of the year. So what they did is they took the XFL and the current USFL and they combined the two. Now, what they did is they took five of the XFL teams. Let's see, wait a minute. Yeah, they took 5 of the XFL teams and put them in, and then they took 3 of the USFL teams and put them in. So that what they did to make the division, they call it the Unified Football League now, UFL. Okay, you're in the UK. Oh, you know, I watched a European Football League team play, or a couple of teams this weekend. They were the, let's see, the Vikings from, where were they from? I don't remember where they were from, but then there was the Lightning and the Fire. Or, I'm sorry, the Vikings and the Fire. The Rhine, R-H-E-I-N, Rhine Fire. I don't know. Anyway, it was a pretty good game. Really tight till the end. But the Vikings won that game anyway. The Rhine Fire came back at like the last minute and tried to win the game. They didn't succeed though. Anyway, but it was a good game. I enjoyed it. But yeah, I'm a real big fan of the football. Not the NFL, the XFL, UFL. So what they did is when they combined the two leagues, they called it the Unified Football League, and now it's the UFL. And they're talking about actually expanding this year, the 2026 season. There are 3 teams that are going to move because they don't need 3 teams in Texas. They're going to move one of the teams from Texas, I believe, the one from Memphis and the one from Birmingham. They're going to put them somewhere else. And those are cities, Kyle, if you don't know, those are cities in the U.S. Memphis, Birmingham, and Houston. Is that right? Yeah, Houston Roughnecks. They're going to take those 3 teams away from the cities that they're in and put them in cities where they think they're going to get some attendance, because the best attendance has been in St. Louis, which is where I live. We've had an average of probably, I would say on average, 28,000 people show up for the games. Like it varies, you know, like the first game of the season, I think we did like 32,000. The last game was like 28,400 or something, but we've had as many as 40,000 people at the game. So it just kind of depends on, like, well, there are other sports in town too. We've got a soccer team, or what you would call the football round, not football with shoulder pads and helmet and all that stuff. Then we have baseball. I'm not sure what you guys call baseball over there in the UK. And then we have hockey, which hockey's hockey everywhere. We have a hockey team as well. So some of the weeks that we've played, you know, our team has been here in town and played. They've had football, hockey, and baseball all going on at the same time, and that brings a lot of people to the downtown area of St. Louis. And anyway, depending on the crowd, or the crowd kind of depends on how many people are at the other games. Well, hockey season's over right now, so those fans are more than likely either going to watch baseball or football. And I think that's why they did the spring league here in town. We used to have an NFL team in St. Louis, but the owner of that football team had some contract negotiation problems with the city of St. Louis and ended up suing the city, and then the city won, and they got some kind of big settlement because they had a contract dispute, and the owner of the football team said, "Screw you guys, I'm going somewhere else." So he packed up his little football team and he moved out to LA. They became the LA Rams, the Los Angeles Rams, which They were Los Angeles Rams many, many years ago, but they went, but then they came here, and now they're back. Now, see, St. Louis has already had two football teams back in the 70s and early 80s. They had the St. Louis Cardinals football team, and then when the Cardinals left and went to Arizona, a couple of years after that, they brought the Rams in from Los Angeles, and they played here. I don't know, they won a Super Bowl, and then they took the team and then left because of the contract, disputes or whatever it was. So that's a history 101. I know that's kind of pointless history, useless, information, but to make you understand. Now, see, we've always been known here in St. Louis, or at least since I've been here anywhere, as a sports city or sports town, and the people love football. But going to a football game here in St. Louis is like going to a freaking party, man, because you got a lot of people that dress up cosplay, and there's a lot of costumes and face painting, and the crowd really gets into the game and all kinds of stuff. So it's really interesting. It's a lot of fun. I have a lot of fun when I go to the games. Now they played in Washington D.C. this past week, so this coming weekend, I think it's Friday night, they're going to be at home. Let's see here. No, I'm sorry. The 8th. Let's see. Today is the 2nd. So on the 6th. No, wait a minute. That can't be right. Anyway, we got one more home game. And so they're going to play the same team they played last week, this coming week. Maybe it's the 8th. Yeah, maybe the 8th. Anyway, I didn't get tickets for that game. And I don't know, man. With all this car trouble thing going on with insurance companies and the economy the way it is here in the U.S., I mean, it's okay, but it's not really great like it was at one point before 2020. The economy was good, but now it sucks. I'll just put it that way. Anyway, so they're going to be playing the DC Defenders in the conference championship, and then on the 14th, which I got tickets for that, it's going to be the championship game between the USFL conference and then the XFL conference. Those two top teams are going to get together and play for the championship. I'll be sitting front row in one of the end zones on the home team side. So I'll probably be on TV. I'm going to do everything I can to get noticed anyway, because I'm not a narcissist or anything, but I just think it would be really cool, at my age, to be able to get on TV for being a fan of a sport. So I'll be DVRing that game for sure. I'm still working on my road here, so I've still got to go home a different way. Yay, love it. So anyway, it ought to be pretty interesting, but not a whole lot else is going on. I'm just, it's yesterday. Well, I got my yard mowed Saturday finally. I did go out and do that. I did the front yard early in the day when let's see, you're always busy working, so it's hard to find time to watch sports. Yeah. Well, luckily enough for me, Kyle, I've got a pretty permanent schedule. I work 6 to 2:30, 5 days a week. I've got weekends off, unless of course I choose to work on a Saturday, and I always have that option. But I don't really like working on a Saturday unless I can stay what we call here in the U.S. gainfully employed. If I've got nothing to do, and I'm just going to sit around and suck up the hours off the clock, I'm not going to do that, because that's not fair to the company that I work for. Because they've got employees to pay and they've got expenses, and if I'm just going to go waste their time and their money, then I'm not going to go in. I don't know. Maybe I'm more ethical than most people, because I know some people that are going to ride the clock for 4 or 6 hours, and I'm not into that. If I don't have anything to do and I can't stay busy, I'm not going, because that makes for a long, boring day, and I'm just not going to do it. So, but like I say, I always have that option if I want to. Um, so I just work 40 hours a week. So on the weekends, I get plenty of time to watch football and go to games and things like that. Yeah, I appreciate that, Kyle. Um, the overtime's nice. It really is. I make good money on overtime, but you know, the more money you make, the more money they take out in taxes. And I'm sure, in the UK, I'm sure you know about taxes in the UK. So, I mean, if you know what your tax scale is like, ours is probably just as bad, if not worse. Like if I work 56 hours a week, I could bring home, I'm not sure what it is in British pounds or euros or whatever it is you guys are using over there. But if I work 56 hours, I bring home right around $1,100, something like that. But I gross. They usually take about $700 or $800 in taxes out on me for making that kind of money. So I try not to give them, that money. So I kind of know how to play the tax scale game, where like the more money you make, the different tax brackets they put you in. When like each week, like if you make a certain amount, then it puts you in a higher tax bracket if you make over a certain amount of dollars. So I figured out that I could make just about all my money and bring it home, barring the regular tax schedule, tax bracket. If I work like 45 to 50 hours a week, I'm good. The money looks really good, but in comparison. But if I work that extra 6 hours, then that puts me in a higher tax bracket, and they take out more taxes at a higher rate, if that makes any sense. So I don't know, man. I worked a lot of overtime between like September of last year and I would say the second week in March of this year. And to be completely honest with you, I got kind of burnt out. I'm still kind of burnt out. I can't wait to go on vacation. So I'm going on vacation the 20th of this month. I'm going on vacation for a week. And I'm just going to forget my job. I'm going to forget all the troubles, and I'm going to go have a good time. And then when I come back, I'll be good. So anyway, so yeah, I get time to watch sports on the weekend, but I also get time, to take care of things that I need to take care of. In the afternoons, like say for instance, if I want to mow my yard after work, I get home early enough in the day that I can do it. And then there's other things like I changed the oil. I have a 2008 Chevy Trailblazer, and I was overdue for an oil change. I'm not sure if you remember seeing or watching me the other day, maybe. I was talking about my oil change being overdue. Well, I'm mechanically inclined enough that I generally change my own oil in my vehicles, so I do. So yesterday, I went to a store here. We have it called Advanced Auto, and I bought oil and filter and changed the oil yesterday afternoon. Now, generally, I don't like to do anything on Sundays, but this whole insurance deal with the third car kind of played a part in that, because my other half, she was real nervous about driving the car that she normally does, because she was afraid that with the damage to the car, that we were going to have to cancel the insurance on it. But then if we canceled the insurance, we'd have to turn the car in, because when you buy a car in the U.S., usually the finance companies or the company that you buy the car from requires you to carry full coverage, liability and collision and fire and theft and all that bullshit. So she was worried that if the car was totaled, she was worried that the insurance company would drop us or not let me carry collision insurance on it anymore. But The good thing is I mentioned this earlier, is that the state that I live in, when there's a like an act of God, say a tornado or a hurricane or hail or whatever damages your car, it's out of your control. So when something gets totaled, I mean, the car is drivable. It's only got 90,000 miles on it. It's a 2015. Um, they don't require you to change the status of the title. And as I was saying earlier, I'm not sure when you came in, you may not have heard it, but when you change the status of the title because of damage, it usually is going to either be a salvage title or a junk title. Depending on, I guess, probably the damage to the car. But, it doesn't, the status of the title doesn't change now since it was an act of God. So that's a good thing, because we can still sell the car, once it's paid off. We could probably still, sell it or trade it in. Now, of course, we won't get as much for it because of the hail damage, but, at least we'll have a little bit of equity, in something that we can trade. Now, like I said, that car's got right at 90,000 miles on it. My brand new car's got 5,163 miles on it, which I'm driving it today. I really like my new car, and I like driving it, but I don't want to put a lot of miles. So I've been driving my old 2008 Chevy Trailblazer, and it's got 245,000 miles on it, like 245,300 something. But I've put a lot of money in it, to keep it running over the years. I've had it since 2016. So I've had that truck, I call it my truck, but it's an SUV. I've had it since 2016, and when I bought it, it had 125,000 miles on it. So I've put another 120,000 on it since I bought it, and but I've put probably in the 9 years that I've had it, I've been chasing my tail with one problem in particular that has to do with an emissions control. It's a purge sensor or purge valve or something that keeps throwing me a check engine light. But as long as I know what it is, I'm not going to worry about it. The only time I have to worry about it is if I need it inspected. So I reset the code. I drive it about 100 miles or so, because I figured out that when I reset the code, it does all its cycling, and checks the system and everything. And I can go about 116 to 120 miles after I reset the code before it throws a code again. So I usually wait until I get about 75 or 80 miles, and I'll take it and have it inspected, because they do the safety and emissions tests here in the U.S. I'm not sure, that most of the cars in the UK are diesel. Go figure. But all three of my cars are gasoline motors. So anyway, and then I can get it to pass, and of course I can get it registered and all that stuff, because but I've got two cars right now and my motorcycle that the registrations due on, at least my motorcycle right now. I've got registrations go bad next month in July. Of course, I have personalized tags, so that's how they monitor or whatever. All the personalized tags are always done in July. So next month I'm going to be registering three vehicles all over again, which kind of sucks, but it's all the tax tax vehicle and bullshit like that. It's just a money grab anyway. So anybody out there want a shout out? Let me look up here and see if there's been anybody else on. Signal's fine. You're a big fan. I don't watch sports very much. Yeah, I got you. Okay. Anyway, but you guys take it easy. I'm home now. Like I said, I usually do these videos for about 30 or 40 minutes or something like that on my way home. But I got to run. You guys have a good day. And if you're just now coming in, give me a holler real quick, and I'll give you a shout out if you want a shout out. Oh, my shirt says Rick, Dale, Liver Mush, and Anti-Scene. Okay, this is Ric Flair. This is Dale Earnhardt. If you guys know, he's a NASCAR driver. Ric Flair's a wrestler. Dale Earnhardt, liver mush. That's something we eat here. Well, you can't eat it here in this part of the country because they don't have it. But this is a southern thing from like North and South Carolina. Liver mush and Anti-Scene. Anti-Scene is a rock and roll band from Charlotte, North Carolina, in the U.S. If you guys get a chance to look them up, look up Anti-Scene. Great band. The singer for the band is a personal friend of mine. We're not real close, but we know each other on a first name basis, and he recognizes me when he sees me, and he calls me brother. That's all that matters. But anyway, so go check them out. Anyway, you guys have a fabulous afternoon, evening, whatever part of the world you're in. And oh, wait a minute, Charles Chance Hicks. Hey, Chance. Wow, it has been a while, hasn't it? Well, good to see you in there, brother. Good to see you back. I was just getting ready to close out for the day. I got some things I need to go. Actually, I need to go get. I got to go to the barber shop today and get my beard done, my beard and mustache. A buddy of mine took over. Oh yeah, good to see you too, there, Chance. A buddy of mine bought a barber shop that's been around since like the 1950s or something like that. And I'm guessing that the guy that was running it or owned it got too old to manage it anymore. So a buddy of mine bought it, and today's his opening day. So I thought I'd help his business, you know, on the first day, and then go get my beard trimmed up and my mustache and stuff like that. Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. I don't cut hair or anything. He offered to give me a flat top, but I just kind of laughed at him. I don't know if you know what a flat top is, but it's a military haircut. So like all this would be gone, and then I would have like a flat top with what they call white sidewalls, you know, almost like a fade, kind of. But no, thank you. I've been wearing my hair longer pretty much since high school, so I'm not going to cut my hair that short. I mean, I'll cut it, you know, up to here or something, or a little bit less than this, but the hell with that military cut shit. No, thank you. But anyway, okay, Chance, good to see you in there. Flat top could look nice on you. Well, you know, I've had a crew cut before. I went in the Navy in 1992, and I had a crew cut. You know, that was the basic training cut. And it was a lot cooler. It was a lot easier to manage, and I didn't really go through a lot of shampoo. So, yeah, I could see that, Kyle, but I don't know, man. That's quite a step going from this to a flat top, don't you think? Anyway, all right, y'all, I got to get out of here. Hey, Kyle, Chance, y'all have a good one, man. We'll talk to you again soon. I don't know where Ashley went. I guess she's got a phone call or something. And we'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one. All right, peace.